Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as I promised you last time, tutakuja na answers to the questions you asked, and that is what we are going to do today. The previous video, especially the first video I did, kuna maswali watu waliuliza hapo kwa comment section, wengine walini inbox na mungeziandika hapo ndo kila mtu asome, but ni sawa. So today we are going to do that. As you can see, I have two gentlemen with me over here. What I introduce, and then tutaanza our video. So introduce yourselves.
I'm Jacob, aka JJ.
And I'm here, Moshe.
Yeah, Dr. Ian. So our first question, someone asked, how bad is self-treatment? Yeah, how bad is self-treatment? So I'll let them answer.
Okay, so as we know, maybe self-treatment is not good because you may have an idea what's wrong with you, but you're not sure what is wrong with you. Maybe to say you have a UTI, ina affect abdomen, pia pain kwa abdomen, unaweza sema uko na amoeba. Sasa uende ukunywe antibiotics leading to drug resistance. So next time ukienda kuchukua dawa unakuta dawa ifanye hizo antibiotic. So it's better uende hospitali uambiwe nini ndio uwe na rational prescription. That is the best way to seek medication.
Yeah, pia another thing, nowadays watu wana Google symptoms. Alafu Google haikosangi answers. I'm not saying it's bad because maybe inaweza kupatia idea of what is happening, but it's good kwenda hospitali you confirm. At least kuna tests zinafanywa. Unaweza pata ugonjwa zina share symptoms. So Google ikwambie something else, ukienda hospitali unapata ni something different. So
now self-treatment. Self-treatment, sometimes especially in the case of malaria, many people when they have the symptoms of malaria, they buy the anti-malarial drugs, wanameza, alafu baadaye if it persists, they come to the hospital for diagnosis. Most cases you can't find malaria as when you do microscopy, the malaria parasites cannot be detected because you already use the drug and then malaria disappears. It disappears but the symptoms persist. So when you find the symptoms of malaria, don't rush to the hospital, to the pharmacy or the chemist nearby to buy the drugs. Rush to the hospital, do the diagnosis. When the malaria parasites are not detected, you will be treated clinically. That is when you don't have that malaria parasite. But the self-treatment actually is not good. Rush to the hospital to get the diagnosis and as well get the drugs that are best fit you. Another thing, we wanted to talk about self-treatment and self-diagnosis. A self-diagnosis also comes in when people, especially HIV patients, when they come in, they buy the kits, they want to go and test by themselves. My friend, you are adding stress to yourself. When it reacts, you will utakonda huko peke yako. Just go to the hospital, go there and get the required test. Because when you go there and you put a buffer and the drug, the blood, which are not proportionate, one will bring you a false positive or a false negative. A case comes when it's a false positive, then you start trembling and passing and running to the clinic. It will be bad for you that day. Go to the hospital, get the best services. Check up. Celestial Medical is best fit for you. It is along Kasarani Mwiki Road.
yeah.
Just alight at
Equity
Bank.
Yeah.
Opposite a very well equipped laboratory and hospital. We are there. You get the services.
Yeah. So maybe on that, maybe you can tell us about the oral and the blood.
She's talking about HIV test as a kit, where the one which uses the saliva and the one that uses blood. The one which is saliva actually can even detect other viruses. So someone came and it was positive for the one that detects the virus in a saliva. But because that is, sometimes there are a lot of false positives and false negatives. So I will prefer that you use the serum plasma sample to test for your HIV. So probably that can be only done in hospital because you cannot get your serum at home. Just come to the hospital, you draw the blood, and as well the test is done because of the false negative, false positive that are associated with the saliva test. Saliva as a sample when you're testing HIV.
Okay. So on to our next question. Someone asked, what is the importance of having sex? Does it add value or is it just for pleasure? Yeah, someone asked that, and maybe we'll go first. JJ.
Okay, yes, sex is sweet too. But my friends, it's not just for pleasure. As much as we are trying to, but it's also to religious, we are told to do sex after marriage. But when it's during that period, we are told sex, one, it reduces stress. When you are stressed, the best way is to go home, bathe, have fun, have sex, my friend. It's also good to have sex with the right person. That way you are going to enjoy sex. You're not doing sex for lust, then you run away. Do sex with the right person when you're married. Actually, you'll enjoy that sex. Secondly, sex reduces pains. When you have pain, actually, someone say that when you are relax. During there's something that ladies feel after menstruation, what we call cramps. So we are told during cramps, if you done sex and feels the orgasm, that reduces the pain. That's true. So it reduces pain, especially when you have the cramps and you have good sex, the orgasm comes. It says it's scientific that release of the orgasm reduces the pain. The third one that I can talk about is actually a form of exercise. People who have unidirectional work ethics, where they are only from home to job to home. You are told doing sex, that's the only way you can do exercise. That's the only way you can do exercise. So you all go to people as exercises. That's an exercise in its own definition. Can I talk? Okay, also it reduces pressure. Yeah, it reduces pressure in the body. That way, it also protects the heart from heart attack, because pressure itself decreases heart attack. So when the pressure is reduced, the heart is also protected. I think maybe those are the few things I can talk about. Maybe Ian can tell us other benefits.
Mostly, let's say there are only two organisms in the world that uses sex for pleasure. One is humans and the other one is dolphins. So one is pleasure. The second thing, like daktari hapa amesema, ni exercise. Unatumia the same amount of energy ungetumia kama kurun marathon. So na pump hapo ni kama marathon kukimbia. Na pia the important thing ya reproduction, like for the next generation.
So I hope mmejibiwa. On to our next question. Someone told us to discuss about PEP and PrEP, but I feel like hiyo inahitaji a whole video. Iko hiyo peke yake, like inafaa tu kukua a whole video because it's broad, but maybe ku highlight Dr. Ian atatu highlightia kiasi what is PEP and what is PrEP. Yeah.
So PEP hiyo PEP inamaanisha post exposure prophylaxis. Ni dawa unatumia after umekuwa exposed to, unafikiria umekuwa exposed to unaweza pata HIV. So tuseme mtu wa kuume mkipigana utapewa PEP. Ujidunge na sindano kwa bahati mbaya, ujui sindano imedunga nani, utahitaji PEP. So mostly hizi PEP huchukuliwa for about 28 days, ni ya kusaidia ku prevent HIV, lakini ziko na side effects, lakini hizo zitadiscussiwa. Nataka topic mzima ndio tuieleweke vizuri. Alafu PrEP ni before, kama unajua utakuwa exposed to HIV, so unachukua juu unaenda ku, so tuseme kuna wale watu bwana ako na HIV, bibi ana HIV, tuseme wanataka mtoto. Mostly bibi atapewa hizo PrEP akunywe, waki come into contact bibi asipate HIV. So mostly difference ni PrEP ni before, PEP ni after umekuwa exposed. Mungu na kitu ya kuongezea?
We're going to talk about it, but the way Dr. has said, PEP is given after. In most cases, people take PEP. People take PEP because they have identified the accident. So they rush to take the PEP, but they have side effects. Actually, it is taken. Is it 72?
Before 72 hours.
So before
Within
that 72
72
hours,
hours.
that's where it is taken. Yeah. And that takes us to discordant couples. Maybe the Terry can take us a little more.
Okay, so there are discordant couples is when one partner has an STI or HIV but the other partner doesn't. So tuseme bibi ako na HIV, bwana ana HIV, so hiyo ni discordant couple. So kuna couples kama hao, so tunafaa kudiscuss kuhusu nini kuhusu.
So I know many people are asking why must one person have HIV, another one doesn't
like
have.
How is it even possible? I
Yes.
know watu wako na hiyo swali.
Yes, and in most cases people come with a theory like one is a carrier, one is a carrier. One thing I want to rub off your mind is that there's no carrier for HIV. So we want to discuss about discordant couples, HIV specifically. Reason for discordant couples, what can be done, or what is advisable. And that takes us back to the question of self-diagnosis, where you do test each person, and then one is positive, one negative. You will end up fighting there. The counseling is only done in the hospital when there is a third party. So that's why you are required to go to the hospital. Discordant couples always happen in hospitals, where one is positive and one is negative. And when you are the person doing the testing or the counseling, it takes a lot of courage to inform them that one is negative and one is positive and advise accordingly. So what are the causes or what are the factors that leads to this? We want to talk about three things. We want to talk about the viral load. Viral load is the number of viruses that are contained in the blood. Viral load. We want to talk about the CD4 cells. CD4 cells is the cell that protects you from getting infection or fights against infection. Then I want to talk about something else called CCR5. CCR5, that is the chemokine receptor type 5. So those are the three things that maybe I want to talk about. I want to talk about one is the relationship between the CD4 count and the viral load. A case comes when the viral load is very low and the CD4 cells are very high. It means that the person can easily fight the infection because the CD4 cells are high. And because the viral load is low, it is very difficult. Also, as much as you can transmit, HIV also has a value in which it is transmittable. There must be a titer in which you can transmit an HIV to another person. So when the virus is very low, it's undetectable. It cannot be transmitted to another person. That is the CD4 cells and the viral load. So the CD4 cells are very high. The viral load always becomes minimal. So the person cannot easily transmit that infection. Another thing, the second one, what I'll talk about is CCR5. That is the cytokines receptor 5. This is the vehicle. Because when when a virus goes in the body, it must attach. There must be a receptor. There's that receptor that it attaches to, then goes to the bloodstream. So some people lack this CCR5. When you lack it, the virus will come, but it will never combine, will never attach somewhere. So means this virus will never go into the blood. So when you lack that CCR5, the chemokine, it is called chemokine receptor.
Yeah, I know.
Chemokine receptor 5.
I'm not taking notes.
When you lack it, the virus will never find somewhere to bind. Actually, when you learn about something like key lock model, where the virus is having some receptor, when it comes, it must bind. So when it binds, it is transported into the bloodstream. But when an individual lacks that receptor, the virus will never get where to attach to. That way, the person can be negative, the other person is positive. The discordance couples. So most probably, we advise. What are the advice that maybe you give it? Because one person is positive, one is negative. The person who is positive will automatically undergo ARVs. While the person who is negative will go to PrEP. The PEP will go to PEP because they are already done everything. PEP. Because they already done everything, so you take them to PEP.
For long term?
For some 3 months, then you will come back for a test. Yes. But the person who was positive must go to the ARVs. But as well, it must be tested for the CD4 to identify the CD4 level and identify which type of virus, a drug to be given, the first line of those sort of things. Yeah, maybe Dr. can add something.
So, I mean that maybe I'll discuss I may discuss mumejua hapo. So maybe labda mnataka kuendelea kuishi pamoja. So what should
next?
you do? So one, to prevent your spread, one, practice safe sex, condoms. Weka CD mpangoni.
Yeah.
The other thing ni kuensure huyo partner ako positive anachukua ARVs. Kama vile hapa daktari amesema, tunajaribu kupunguza hiyo viral load na increase CD4 count. So as you take your medication, ina reduce viral load, meaning ina lower chances za kuspread. So na kitu ingine ni honesty. Lazima uambie, unajua unaweza pima huko nje upate uko positive ushinde kuambia.
Umekalia information.
Yeah, umekalia information. Umeka top secret. So the most important thing ni honesty, alafu mnaendelea kutoka hapo. So kuna hizo tulikuwa tumetaja vitu ya PEP na PrEP. So mkitaka kupata mtoi, bado kuna chance unamtumia hiyo PrEP, alafu mnapata mtoi. Though kuna research quiz zinafanya, kuna kitu inaitwa semen washing, lakini hizo ni story for another day.
Zinaitwa?
Nini?
Hizo
PrEP.
story for another. Umesema kuna research inafanywa.
Kuna kitu inaitwa semen washing. Where wanachukua sperms wanatoa semen. Ndio ibaki sperms wanaona kama hiyo virus inashinda kwa semen not kwa sperm. So wanafanya IVF.
Story for another day. So maybe our last question ilikuwa about RENSA, positive and negative, especially during pregnancy.
So kitu ya kwanza ukijua kwa pregnancy unaenda clinic kufanya, kuna kitu inaitwa ANC profile. Kwa hiyo ANC profile you have to be done some tests. One of those tests kuna kitu inaitwa blood grouping. So hapa kwa blood grouping tunajua blood group yako na bado tunakufanyia rhesus factor kuangalia either ni positive ama ni negative. Kama sijui kama ni kweli sijui statistic ni ukweli, lakini about 90% ya population ni rhesus positive. So lakini kuna watu wako na blood group negative, unakuta huyu ako O positive, mwingine ako O negative, kuna B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, vivo. So kuna wale hukuwa negative. So tuseme wife ni tuseme amefanywa rhesus akakutikana ni tuseme O negative. The husband nayo mama fiance ako positive, blood group yake ni positive. So inamaanisha nini? Damu positive na negative haziwezi mix. So ikimix ita clot. So ndio maana ukiwa pregnant ukifanyiwa test ukutane uko blood group negative, kuna some injection utadungwa. Mostly ni the first pregnancy peke yake ndio isi affect other pregnancies. Juu ukikosa kupata tuseme blood tuseme mtoto mzee ako positive na wewe uko negative, so mtoto apate blood group ya mzee ikuwe positive, so inamaanisha blood group zenyu hazireact, so utapata hizo antigens kwa damu yako, itafanya damu yako iclot. Kama ni firstborn mtoi atatoka akiwa sawa, hatakuwa na shida. Lakini ukikosa kupata, kuna sindano mtu hudungwa, ukikosa kupata hiyo sindano au pregnancy zote zingine itakuwa na shida. Damu ya mtoto itakuwa ina clot. So ndio inakuanga important ujue rhesus factor yako na blood group yako. That's why it's important.
Now to add on top, this information is actually much important to women. Take note of this. And because men nowadays are irresponsible men are outside there, and women tend to rely on them without you going for the ANC. So a blood group, when you are a rhesus negative mother, and maybe the child is rhesus positive because of the father, maybe the father is positive, or your concubine is rhesus positive. So this actually does not affect the first pregnancy. So when you're a rhesus negative mother give birth to a child who is a rhesus positive, there's something that is, because however we have a mother and a child who are two separate entities, the child's blood always crosses the placenta to the mother's blood. It makes sense. So when the child is positive and the mother is negative, the mother's antibodies will detect the child's antibodies as foreign. They are foreign intruders, so they will react. That is called sensitization, rhesus sensitization. So when the sensitization happens the first time, the child will never be interfered with, the first pregnancy. So the second pregnancy is where we have a problem. So when the child has already been, the blood has already been sensitized, the mother's blood. In the second pregnancy, when the child's blood comes in, there will be a reaction with the mother's because there was previous sensitization. That reaction can, one, cause hemolysis of the child's blood or the child's blood. So that hemolysis, as well we call it the erythroblastosis fetalis, or the hemolytic disease of the newborn. If the blood will break, there will be hemolysis. It will affect the second child. So that's the reason why the mother should always go for the ANC to check the blood group. So what happens when you have the child already and you are rhesus negative? The mother is injected, there is what we call ROGAM, or we call them rhesus immunoglobulins that are injectable. The mother, the anti-D, the mother is being injected with that anti-D, maybe one at 28 days. 28 days, that is 1 month. Then after 28 days, then 72, I don't know, but the 7 months and 3 to 1 month, I think that's true. But the second pregnancy, you are injected after 72 hours. so that you don't affect the child, or it prevents that hemolytic disease of the newborn. Yeah.
So maybe I can add, unaweza kuwa rhesus negative, so kuna njia unaweza ponea kudungwa hiyo anti-D. Tuseme wewe umetoka rhesus negative, mtoto wako rhesus negative, mostly chances inaweza kuwa atadungwa hiyo nini anti-D, utadungwa anti-D. Though sasa kama blood group zenu ziko different, lazima kutakuwa na hiyo anti-D.
Yeah, so we have tried kuwajibu. I hope mmekuwa satisfied. Kama bado hamjakuwa satisfied na the answers, you can still ask.
I know sometimes it is very difficult to put these things in order,
Yeah.
but at least get the information. If you have something to add, click the bottom up there, subscribe first, share with your friends, have fun. I know you have question hapo kwa sex topic. You guys,
Ulizeni.
as well, you can as well come and answer us physically. We are located along Kasarani Mwiki Road,
Yeah.
just a light at the Equity Bank, opposite Celestial Medical. We offer everything except nothing.
The only thing we don't have maybe is CCC pharmacy. But anyway, guys, yeah, if you have if you feel like you can answer maswali zenye maybe hatujajibu vizuri, pia you can help us answer the questions kwa comment section. Alafu, yeah, we have come to the end of our video today. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys. So make sure you comment, you like, you share, you subscribe for more fun videos. Yeah, leo hatujakuwa na games, maybe maswali zilikuwa more, but next time itakuwa more fun na more educative. I hope you have learned something. So bye, guys. Bye.